Hello. Let's see. Hello. Hello. Well, I forgot to extract all the files. Welcome. Welcome to anybody out there listening, which is probably nobody right now, but maybe somebody will join us soon. Happy Bionicle Day. We're going to be playing Madanui online game here as soon as it finishes extracting the files. And oh, we had a big old jump. While we wait, I'll go ahead and explain what this is for anybody who doesn't know. I assume most people watching this have a vague idea what Bionicle is. In 2001, of course, Lego created its constructible action figure line, compatible with Technic and System in some ways. And that was Bionicle. And the lore went super hard. They went in depth, man. There's videos out there that are way better explaining this. I don't want to get too bogged down. Basically, they're biomechanical, sort of robot cyborgs that in the first season lived on this island, tropical island, and the Toa, the heroes, fought against the evil forces of, not really evil, it's kind of a mystery, and we'll get to that in the game. But Makuta had corrupted the creatures, the Rahi, and were attacking the villagers, the Matoran and the Turaga. And they were divided into 6 elemental groups, which we'll meet as we play along. And of course, they had to find the masks to gain power. Now, the story was sent out in a multimedia format, which was kind of new for the time. With the age of the internet, they were able to do a lot more. So you had comics and novels came later. There was supposed to be a computer game, and there was also a handheld game for the Game Boy Advance, I believe, that comes before this. You play as Takua, gathering the 6 Toa stones and summoning the Toa. They arrive, and Takua gets knocked out, and that's where this game picks up. This game was developed by Templar Studios as extra content for the website, and kind of took over as one of the most fondly remembered things from, well, the whole Bionicle story. This one, whereas the comics and most of the commercials and website, the Toa fighting against the Rahi, this one focuses more on the villages. The villagers. You still play as Takua, who is one of the Matoran. Excuse me. And you get a lot more world building in this. This game was made in Flash and released in chapters over a couple of months. And we're going to be playing the first couple chapters tonight. I had intended to just speedrun the whole game, but I think instead I'll just go ahead and take my time with it, and break it up into a couple of different streams. So, now we finally have that out of the way. We can begin the game. What? Yes, run anyway. See, I couldn't get it to do that on my other thing. So this I've downloaded from Biomedia Project, and this is the original version of the game. Well, sort of. A little glitchy on the sides there, I suppose, but in the original web browser, perhaps. Let's see. I probably wouldn't have done that. So here, we're just going to be kind of playing. There we go, full screen. That's better. So this is where you pick up at the end of the previous game, the quest for the Toa. It dropped you down on this beach, and now we can see that we have the Toa canister here, and behind us, the kind of iconic Mononui stone, although this one's a little weirder than the ones that we'll see later on. So the Toa canisters in some of the other media fell out of the sky, and the Toa get out of these and have to build themselves. Although, you'd be forgiven for assuming that this just spat it out onto the beach. Though a closer inspection suggests that it washed up from the shore. It's got seaweed all over it or something. Some sort of gunk. It's got some footprints leading off into the distance that way. Over here, we have this person who's not supposed to be there yet, waving at us. I'm going to get around her and go up these steps. We're going to have a look up here. I really love this art style. It's very classic. And I mean, other than some of the like granulated pixelation of some of these compressed images for the sky, I think that this art style is aged really well. And honestly, if there was a cartoon of Bionicle, this is what I'd want it to look like, because it's just so good. This is sort of a wall of prophecies. At the bottom here you can see the things that will happen, and at the top these are the oh, I just realized that this is the same image as the full screen button. Cool. Clicking on it just takes us back here. We've got some ominous music. So you look through the telescope and we can look at the stars. Ooh. Very nice. Now you'll notice that it's a good clinky noise. Clank. Chunky noise. But the bright stars are the constellations that you see depicted on here. And when it was originally released, the red star would move to where these constellations are, and that would coincide with the chapter that was going to be released. So right now we're on the first chapter, which is just the beach. So it should be over one of these other constellations, not that one. But I can't find them now. Yeah, they're all gone. The stars have changed. A new prophecy. Anyway, and you could read these numbers and stuff, and you could figure out when the next chapter was going to be released, and this would depict what chapters there would be. So right now we should be on this chapter here, which is just the beach, and then the second one is Tahu and the fire village, Takoro, and then Gakoro would open up, etc., etc. So I want to analyze these images here. I know, I'm already getting into analysis. Obviously, on the bottom here you have the pod, the Toa canister, which the toys came in the canisters that they were supposed to, you know, it's a cool integrated play feature. The packaging that they came in was the canister that in the story they arrived in. Now this image up top that forms the constellation is, as we'll see behind us, this area over here, which is the storytelling pit. In the second one we got Tahu, Toa Fire, and this appears to be this constellation appears to be forming one of those crescent things that in the comics, I believe, the Toa collected, and in the trading card game as well, they had these little emblems that had their name on it, and they were kind of like little necklaces or something they wore, and later on in this game we actually see them use those, combine them into a sphere to open the gate that they go through in the Kini Nui, but that's later on. Probably won't get to it in this. This one's just waves, and I like how this is basically like constellations in real life, where it's just a bunch of dots and people are like, yeah, that's totally waves, you know. And that's Gali. Underwater. Here Tahu's just standing next to fire. I believe these should be coordinates down here of where the stars are. And yeah, that's in the Bionicle, the Matoran language script. So up here, we have what looks like what I was referring to earlier, the little the little crescent things that all 6 of the Toa combine on this side. And it also kind of looks like a little angry face. Arr. I have no idea what this one is on the right, though. It is a weird shape where, like, one is the circle and one is the circle and one is like this triangle, but I'm not really sure what that is, unless it's supposed to be the gnomon that you use on the sundial later. This here is most likely a Nui Jaga, which is the scorpion, because this should open up Pokoro, right? The Powahi segment of the game. And that's where you fight the Nui Jaga. But then I'm not sure why this bird is here. And this bird kind of reminds me of the bird in the Onua trailer for the PC game. The shape of the head, at least, that lands on his canister when he first arrives on the island. But it could also be, you know, Gecko birds or something, but it doesn't really line up with the Liwa chapter. So this should be, I'm assuming, Onuwahi, because this is Onua here with his little claws, and I don't know what this is supposed to be unless it's a Tarakava, the boxing thing that goes around on the wheels. But that's all the way back in Golly's level chapter or whatever. The constellation appears to be vaguely forming the shape of one of their heads without the mask, unless that's supposed to be like the shape of the head from the prototype for Bionicle, the Dew Heads of Voodoo Island. Now, this one would probably coincide with Liwa's level. Now this is a golden. This is a How, the Tahu mask, also representative of Mata Nui. And you find Golden How later on in the game. But that's in the Onua part. So I don't know if that's supposed to coincide with Liwa or not. But at the bottom here we see a little Tarago with a mask, which does actually happen in the Liwa level. And then we have self-explanatory mountains and Kopaka, Toe of Ice, known as Icy Mountains. And it's interesting, there are two mountains shown here. And if you look behind us, you see one mountain. But I'm not sure, I've never been sure if that's supposed to be Mount Ihu with a very flat top, or if that's supposed to be the Mangaya volcano. Because theoretically, there should be two mountains on the island of Mata Nui. The island's called Mata Nui, in case you didn't know. Did I say two islands on the island? Two mountains on the island. Alright, here we have the Vitruvian Man, or the Vitruvian Bionicle. Which is interesting because this is a image that would show up in the 2008 storyline when they're going into the heart of the universe to, well, I won't spoil it for anybody, this 20-year-old franchise. But yeah, this was like a major part of, like, on the Mask of Life, they had the little dude on the face of the mask, and like they also had like a little figure that they, in one of the story commercials, they put a little figure like this into a door that opened it, and then of course the whole giant robot, spoilers, kind of looks like that. Anyway, but what this represents in this game is the, well, I won't spoil that either, but this is like the unity of the Toa. And that should coincide with the Kini Nui chapter. And then this, of course, would be descending into the Mangai layer. And you've got the three groups of Toa again. And then this, both this rock here and this represent Makuta. in some way. Now this face right here looks very similar to this and this, but not exactly alike. And finally, we have the final chapter, which has basically a preview, which has the Motunui emblem, totem, however you want to call it, with an actual like indentation, a curved circular indentation for a mouth. But the sort of images, the idols that they are not idols, but like I don't know, the icons, the Motunui icons. Motunui is both the Great Spirit and the island. And a preview for 2002 storyline. Anyway, which we'll get that quite a bit throughout this game. It makes a nice little interconnectivity. So now we'll go over here, now that I've thoroughly overanalyzed that. Now we'll get the creation myth. This is kind of the storytelling center here. And I assume in this situation, since nobody else is around to tell us this story, that we're getting it just from Takua's memory. Like, this is like in Breath of the Wild where you go to certain places and it unlocks memories. Like, I guess this is like a... Which actually the Bionicle people live for so long that, you know, even though in the lore they had their memories wiped after a certain event, Takua may have been around for this. That's deep lore stuff. That doesn't factor into this game. The fun thing about this game is it's still in that mystery phase where they're still figuring it out and world building and stuff before everything got, this epic scale. So I should probably explain what's going on here. So the big egg represents Motunui, their great spirit. The little eggs rocks represent the people of the island. The evil-looking rock represents the Makuta. The Makuta puts a spell on Motunui, putting him to sleep, which threw the island into chaos. Now this is interesting. Here we see these little rocks pop up. 4 little rocks, or maybe just 3. I think they are just 3. I always thought there was 4. But I always assumed that they represented the 3 obstacles for the first 3 years of Bionicle, the Rahi, the Borak, and the Rakshi. If there was 4, then you throw the Borakal in there. If there's only 3, then the Borakal and the Borak all are one thing. Now these little eggs are, of course, as you can guess, the Toa, who are destined to defeat the Makuta. And that music did not time very well. I think it's because I'm playing on... yeah, there you go. Like I said, I'm playing on the sort of the ripped original version of the game I downloaded from Biomedia Project. Fantastic website. They've got basically anything and everything you'd ever want to see from Bionicle Archive there. You're not supposed to be here. Apparently theirs is a little glitchy, but I chose this because it has a few key things that are... Because I also have the official downloadable version that they re-released of this from 2006 that corrected some of the original dialogue and whatnot, and fixed some bugs. But anyway, but also it also created its own problems. For instance, we see here on the beach footprints going up this way. What could have made the footprints? Ooh, there is a character there. Mysterious. I wonder who that could be. Yeah, we wouldn't have got this cutscene if I had played the other version. Ooh. it's interesting, you know, he's shrouded in shadow, just kind of glances at you, waltzes off, and we don't see him again, right? Now, here's the question. Does this take place immediately after? Because I believe that is where we would have ended the first chapter. When I was a kid, I think I played this in 2001, 2002-ish, maybe, but I just remember watching the cutscenes and stuff. And boy, did I get scared by the ending cutscene, because I thought everybody died. Anyway. And then I played the heck out of the 2006 re-downloadable version. So I can't exactly remember if Tahu would have been there for this first chapter, or if he would have only been there once the second chapter began. So yeah, that's the beach. You would have been trapped on the beach with just the that cutscene in the telescope for a while. So here's the question. Does he immediately go and do the cutscene we're about to see in the city? Or is that immediately after he got out of the canister? Or is it after the cutscene? So now we can see the volcano here. And it's a lot shorter. So I assume Mount Ihu, which is the giant, I can't see it from that angle, but the giant mountain that we saw earlier, I'm going to assume that that's different than this one here. Alright, do we go through this spooky forest? Or do we go straight to the city? Or do we go through the spooky forest? Which is actually pretty terrifying, especially for a little kid. Especially since, if you don't know, you can get lost in here. Alright, so there's signs for the beach. That's nice. But you do have these little trees you can add an X to. Alright, we're wandering through the woods. And you can get lost pretty easily in here. Which, getting lost is basically you just end up... Yeah, you just end up clicking and seeing the same thing a whole bunch of times until you run back into either that or... Honestly, the best thing to do in the woods is just go straight. Sometimes you will circle back around to... Yeah, see, there's one that I marked. Alright, let's see, what else can we find in here? I like the creepy noises in here. It sounds like there's something kind of walking around, but there's also birds. Every time you click on it, there's this low growl. There he is. Alright, so we have our first encounter with a... you can kind of hear his... I've never noticed that before. You can kind of hear his mechanical noises. The little... Alright, I'm going to do some voice acting here. I am Kapura. Are you the Makuta? So this is the first time we've heard of the Makuta. I am practicing. What are you doing? I am practicing. Vakama says that even though I am slow, I may be faster than all the others, and travel very far. He says I must practice. Jala says I am being silly. I practiced often. What is the Makuta? If you do not know what is the Makuta, then I guess you are not it. That is good. Jala says I have to be careful of the Makuta when I am in the forest. He says the Makuta is everywhere. He means Rahi, monsters, things you can see. But I know the Makuta is here now, in these burnt trees and in the dead soil. All of these things were destroyed by the Makuta, but the Makuta never left them. That is how he becomes strong. That is what the Makuta does. He destroys things. I think the forest looks very beautiful this way too. And when it burned, you could see all the fires perform the great Takara all the way to the sea, and it was very beautiful. The great Takara, which brought us Transformers! Anyway, the wrong franchise. So I really like the sort of immediately kind of getting into the spiritual aspect of, I'll go back through this dialogue. Let's dissect this a little bit. If you do not know what Makuta is, then I guess you are not it. All right, so that's already a philosophy kind of right there, hitting us with some philosophy. Just like, you cannot be what you do not understand. You know, if you don't know what this is, then you're clearly not it. So you have to know something before you can be something. That's an interesting little philosophy there. Jala says I have to be careful of the Makuta when I'm in the forest. He says the Makuta is everywhere. All right, so now we're going to see two different philosophies to the Makuta. Jala means Rahi, monsters, things you can see. So there's two different aspects to the Makuta. There is the physical, which is the Rahi, the monsters which are infected by the Makuta. But then Kapura takes the more spiritual side to this. I know the Makuta is here now, in these burnt trees and in the dead soil. All of these things were destroyed by the Makuta, but the Makuta never left them. That is how he becomes strong. That is what the Makuta does. He destroys things. So when the Makuta destroys things, it leaves a scar on the land. And that is the presence of Makuta. You know, it's basically him writing on the landscape, Makuta was here, right? So it sort of shows that some of the Matoran, this guy's a Matoran, obviously, Kapura, feel that when something is changed, it's kind of like in some belief systems and religions and whatnot, like if a strong emotion is felt in a place, it leaves a impression on the very atmosphere of that place. That's how some people believe that places become haunted by ghosts. So I really like how here the Makuta is this sort of presence, but also this ethereal concept, as well as an actual physical threat. So it already shows different mindsets exist in this universe towards an existential crisis that they are facing as a community. Anyway. But I think the forest looks very beautiful this way too, he says, which means that he's adaptable to new situations. You know, there is beauty in destruction. You know, something old gives way to something new. When a forest is burnt down, forest was green, you know, and then it got burned. When he burned, he's from the fire tribe, right? So the fires performing the Great Takara, which is a dance, which we'll actually see some Matoran doing that in a minute here. It was actually kind of beautiful because fire can be very mesmerizing. Although it can be destructive, it also provides heat, warmth, and it's just pretty to look at, you know. And when a forest is burned, it burns away all the undershrubbery and allows new life to grow eventually. So we're already getting hints of this sort of cyclical cosmology of this game, which sadly does not play as much into the Makuta's character in later incarnations, but we'll get to that later. Let's go over. I am practicing. Vakama says that even though Vakama is the elder of their village, the Turaga, and we'll get to him in a minute. Vakama says, even though I am slow, I may be faster than all the others and travel very far. He says I must practice. Jala says I am being silly. I practice often. So, yeah, Kapura is very confusing because of these lines here. And we will see later in the game, he's sort of practicing a reverse psychology. He's training his body, is what he's doing. He's training his mind and body. He's in this solitude place, so he's got plenty of time to meditate on these things. But by moving very slowly, he can be faster than all the others and travel very far. Now, there's two ways to interpret this. Either he moves quickly by being slow, or he goes very far by not overexerting himself, and by conserving his energy, he can go a lot further distance than if somebody tried to run the whole way. Because if you try to run, across an island, you're going to have to stop for breaks all the time. But by walking really slow, he can be. He can go very far. I'm sorry I'm overanalyzing all of this. I just find Kapura a infinitely fascinating character. You are where you are. If I practice, I can be where I am not. I think I can feel it. It is hot here where I am, but where I am not is cold, and I think I can feel it. I must practice more. So now we are getting confirmation of what I theorized earlier, is that by moving slowly, he can transport his mind somehow to another place. And I think later on there are mask powers that can do stuff like that. But, yeah. It's very confusing. I will kind of slow down on overanalyzing everything here. Or not slow down, I will speed up, because otherwise we're going to spend all day on Kapura. The island has many places to visit. I want to see all of them, but the others do not like to travel. Matanui is very big. Vakama says that in the beginning of time, Matanui fell from the sky and landed here. The Makuta came after him and made him fall asleep, and sent his monsters out across the world to control it, and destroy its beautiful things, and to make the Tohunga his slaves. Okay, so here you'll see that this is the original version because they used the term Tohunga, which later had to be changed to Matoran, because Tohunga is a lot of the words, a lot of Bionicle was inspired by Maori. The Maori people's mythology and language and stuff, but Lego actually got in trouble for using some terms like Tohunga, so they compromised and changed some of the names. So it's just retcon that they're always called Matoran, though some other characters they changed the spelling of their name to get around that. Anyway, Vakama has told us to wait for more creatures to fall from the sky who will save us. I think one of them landed on the beach. I saw it fall when I was practicing before. Vakama knows more. You should ask him. He lives in Takoro. I guess I will. So the creatures falling from the sky, I believe, are referring to the Toa. Goodbye. Alright, creepy man. I'm gonna go on through the creepy forest. And then there's the volcano. We made it to the town. Hello. You may pass. Yeah, they all look like Kapura for some reason. You may pass. What's up here? This'll be important later. Only guards may pass. I can't go any further. Sad. Lava. Alright. Now let's see. Okay, good. Yeah, in the 2006 game, the bridge is already there. But the bridge is not here. So here's... Welcome to hell! No, this is Takoro. And we're inside the volcano now. Gotta go into the gatehouse. So here's a little, one of those little war room maps. I like the little... I guess these are where the different villages are, but I'm going to guess that that is the ice village, because if it was the water village, it's on the wrong side. Now, how come on his map we only have one tall, chopped off mountain here, and we don't see the volcano? I am very confused. Because I believe the center mountain is supposed to be the volcano, but in this image, the volcano doesn't look very tall. Anyway. Hello. This is Jala. You can get him from McDonald's. We have lost communications with Gakoro, but I have no Tahunga to spare for a reconnaissance unit. He's the captain of the guard. There are never enough good warriors to send against the Rahi. You look stout, traveler. You should consider a career in the guard. Who are you? I am Jala, captain of the guard. It's my job to protect the city against the Rahi. I knew they were getting stronger, but no one in the city believed me until the beast overran the Trenkrom redoubt. Trenkrom is actually named after a character later on in the story. I lost a lot of good warriors that day. Then Tahu arrived, and now we know why the Rahi are on the move. Vakama says he'll save us, but I don't see the point in putting all our hope in him. You can never have too much security. Okay, so he's pro-security. What is Takoro? Takoro is the city in the Great Lake of Fire, in the shadow of the Mangai, the great volcano. This fortress guards the bridge to it. Many Tahunga live there. Surely you've heard of it? Surely. Most of the people in the Takoro farm, the lava fields to the north beneath the Mangai. Oh, sorry. Most of the people in Takoro farm the lava fields to the north. Ah! I can't do this voice for this long. Excuse me. Farm the lava fields to the north, beneath the Mangai. So that's interesting. I wonder if, like, what do they farm in the lava fields? Like, lava does create very fertile soil, right? But what are they farming? What do they eat? I know they eat. There's Volomaku fruit, I believe, in the game that predates this, or not predates, so all coming out around the same time. Anyway, precedes this chronologically. Many are surfers riding the lava rapids for sport. Oh yeah, I gotta get that 2000s radical sports in there. Exports. Our people are the most courageous warriors in all of Madanui, and we are not afraid to challenge the Makuda's beast if we must. But we cannot confront the enemy alone, and I do not have faith in the other cities of Madanui. If they do not join with us in the defense, we will all perish, Toa or not. What is a Rahi? What is a Rahi but a miserable pile of sand? Plastic. The Rahi serve the Makuda. They're horrible beasts, ruthless and fierce. Some can fly, others walk along the ground. Some, I have heard, even tunnel beneath it. We have battled many of them. In recent times, they have become bolder and have forced us back to here. Takoro used to reach all the way to the coast. The charred jungle used to be a green, peaceful place, but in the fury of our battles, it was burnt. So it happened during a battle with the Rahi. Now, something interesting. Rahi later refers to just all non-character creatures, you know, what we would call beasts or animals in the Bionicle universe, because there are other animal creatures that serve the Matoran, but here he refers to them as if Rahi are specifically the animals that have been corrupted by Makuta. It's kind of interesting. But we are Ta Koro Tahunga, or Matoran, later on, and we will not surrender. And now Tahu, the great fire spirit, has come to lead us against them. They can attack at any time, although always when it is least expected. That is why we must always be on guard. I have studied them extensively. It is possible that they once were normal creatures, like the others that inhabit Mananui, until the Makuta turned them, although I am not certain of this. Alright, so that does confirm that he's using Rahi specifically to refer to the creatures under the sway of the Makuta. If it is true, there may be another way to fight them. Until then, we must patrol our stockades and our trenches day and night, and keep the guard fires burning. Thank you, goodbye. May Tahu protect you, traveler. So now we get the sense that, you know, this is kind of an island that's under constant threat, you know. So I'm just going to activate the bridge and let all the Rahi in. No. Another interesting thing to notice is Kapura actually kind of foreshadows a few things. One, when he asks you, who are also Matoran, if you are the Makuta, and also he foreshadows something else when he says that he'd like to travel. Hey, there's the top of the toy canister. This is called the Suva Shrine. This guy has been working hard. He's all covered in ash and soot. I wonder if that's the guy that's patrolling up there next to the tram thing. Now that Tahu's here, I've got to keep the shrine spotless. The shrine is where Tahu will bring the Kanohi. The Kanohi are masks. Now that Tahu's here, I've got to keep the shrine spotless. Now that Tahu's here, I've got to... Okay, apparently that's all he's got to say. The Rahi have taken the true crumb break. No more farming up there. It's up to us to farm all the heat in Takoro. The heat? How do you farm the heat? Is that like solar panel type thing? Like just like steam? Like, are they generating energy? What are they powering? Want to give us a hand? Farmer's work is never done. The Rahi have taken the trade and crumb break. No more farming up there. Okay, that's all. Hey, buddy. What you got there? Hey, here's the lava surfboard you asked me to hang on to. Oh. Lava surfing is dangerous, but fun. Lava surfing is fun. Okay. Oh, right. I don't have the backpack yet. I'll have to come back for that. Yeah, in the 2006 version, you get the backpack and the light stone at the beginning, but this is more challenging. Alright, here, let me show you something. A little... What's this guy over here on the left? He's a little, like... normal human looking character, like maybe Aztec or Babylonian or something. Probably Babylonian or Mesopotamian. Yeah. And then you've got this one over here that looks like a whale, and I'm not sure what these are in the corner. They kind of look like they've got some stylized How masks. And then down here at the bottom, there's a weird, like, arrow-shaped one. And then the rest look like normal Mananui eggs. They're not actually eggs, I just call them that because the rock is shaped like an egg. And some gemstones, probably from Onu Koro. He's stoking that fire. And I can see right through his butt. So, you have found your way back after all. You are brave. I do not know what brought you to this city, but some who remember you, the temper of the Takoro Tohunga boils as swiftly as the great Mangai in whose shadow we live. But this, our first hour of hope, you may find the villagers' patience to be greater than usual. Yes, there is hope in Takoro. Tahu is here. It was Jala who found him. He caught him in a trap intended for a Rahi. It was almost the end of my brave captain and his famous guard. Memories. He has green eyes now! Didn't he just have yellow eyes when we talked to him earlier? It's coming. Oh, somebody farted. Is that Kapura? Or just one of the nameless guards? Shh. Oh! Whoa! I wonder how that works, the trees just, the spikes just coming out of the ground. Yeah, we got him, yeah. Oh, you think you got me? You ain't got nothing, kid. It's kind of a cool scene, though. What do we do now, boss? Charge! Hey, I'm coming, guys, I'm coming. I guess that is Kapura, then. Halt. Oh, who is this? I do like how these, I mean, I love the use of silhouettes and stuff, you know, and I like how these, so far these cutscenes have been wordless. They've just been wordless storytelling and very effective too. I think it's funny that they gave the fire tribe pitchforks. They live in a volcano. Yeah, pitchforks. The people are elated, but I know that their courage will be tested now more than ever. Tahu's arrival marks the first step in a great struggle, and I have much to do. I got a lot to do, kids, so get out of here. I am sorry for having so little time for you. As you know, there is a lot to do, because I just told you. Is there anything more you would ask of me? How do you know me? This is hardly the time for jokes. Have you forgotten all your great deeds, and also the thing that drove you away from us? Dang, what'd he do? I have forgotten. Please tell me. What did I do? Am I a criminal? Who's Tahu? He will save us. He has come from the heavens, as foretold in the ancient legends of our city, to battle the Makuta with his sword of fire and release us from tyranny. He is a great hero and will struggle against the Rahi of the Makuta and will face great dangers. The legends prophesy 6 heroes descend from the heavens to Matanui, and of them Tahu is the fiercest. But his passage to Matanui has left him uncertain. He has needed help to understand his long-awaited quest. It's called a character arc. I have told Tahu all I know of the legends of Matanui and of the Masks of Power. I have done all I can. Now it is up to him to adventure into the wilderness and find a way to defeat the Makuta. To learn more, buy the comic books. Actually, comics came free with the Lego magazine, so you don't have to buy anything. Buy the book in 2 years when it finally comes out. Who are you? I am Vakama. I am the Turaga of this village. I am the legend keeper, the Takara leader. The Takara leader. He's this old man, the best dancer in the Koro. He of the great fire staff who farms the Mangai's burning core. Have your aimless wanderings caused you to forget everything? Surely you still have the board that I gave you, for that was a special gift. Apparently no, surfer dude has my board. Lava surfing is a difficult skill. Actually, you do get the, he does give you the board in the previous game. The Game Boy game. It's part of the final level. Pretty fun. Interesting, you end in Takoro in that game, and you start in Takoro in this game. Lava surfing is a difficult skill, and no Tahunga other than those that dwell in Takoro have knowledge of it. It would be a pity if you have forgotten it entirely, you bum. Thank you. Goodbye. Forgive me, I have much work to do, as you know, since I have told you for the 3rd time. I am preparing for the arrival of another. I am not certain, but the stars have revealed a new prophecy, which I do not yet fully understand. Now that's an interesting bit of foreshadowing also, because, you know, all 6 Toa should be down at this point, so who is this other? Is it the 7th Toa? No, that's not for until 2003. I mean, some people thought that Variki was the 7th Toa, but that was just a made-up thing. So I told you we'd get to see the Great Takara dance later on, and here they are doing it, I believe. As far as I know, this is the Great Takara dance. Aren't they cute? Just kind of waddling around, putting their arms out. All right, let's see if I remember my my Bionicle language. Ta onu li koro. All right, so this is the highway. Ta uno onu can take you to Ta koro, onu koro, and li koro. And what does this say? Subterranean. What? Subtransit. Okay, yeah. Subtransit. You can see here that, and we'll get to this later. You go down the tunnel and go to the Lightstone Cave, or to Likoro or Onukoro, and you go through Onukoro to get to Pokoro. But we'll come back up that way later. This guy's kind of cool with the Liwa mask and the black markings on his head. What we got in here? I guess that'll just put the bridge down again, but we want to go back out that way. There they are dancing again. So it's arms out, arms down, hug, arms out, arms down, hug, arms down, arms up, arms out, hug. And you're shuffling your feet the whole time. All right, I gotta go get the backpack. Okay, Maku, we're coming. Go back to the beach. So now it's, you know, about a month later, and the rest of the game should be out. Or not the rest of the game, but the next chapter's out. So now Maku's supposed to be here. Hi. And yes, all the blue ones are girls. They're gendered by tribe or element. Don't ask. Help me! My village has been attacked! I'm sorry, I gotta do a girl's voice. Help me! My village has been attacked! I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I apologize to you girls. Will you help me? Who are you? A fair question. My name is Maku of Gakoro. Gakoro lies between the sea and Lake Naho, down the coast. Naho got used as a name. It's also... A lot of names that pop up in this game get used as characters who came before this game chronologically, so everything's named after these other characters. So Naho is a ancient Toa. It's a great village of many Tahunga, or Matoran, and our leader is the Turaga no Kama. I fear much of it has been destroyed by now. Will you help me? What happened? I was away when the Rahi attacked, and when I returned, the monsters were everywhere, destroying everything in sight. Nokama and the others barricaded themselves into a hut to hide, but the Rahi broke the pump, and the hut sank beneath the waves. No, look out! Hey, skidded, or she's skidding to a halt there. Gasp. Now, you'll notice a lot of them had the same masks and stuff. And yeah, a lot of the background characters just reused the same similar masks. Please, there is no time. My people are in great danger. I love how you could just say, I'm sorry, I cannot help you now. I love when a game gives you a choice. But yes, I will help you. Go to Gakoro and find Nakoma. Nakoma? Wow, that's a different pronunciation. Wow. I'm getting all tongue-tied. I think we'll probably stop this stream after the Pokoro chapter. Even though, well, Onua's not even in his city, so we'll get to that later. Go to Gakoro and find Nakoma. She is very wise and might have a plan for escape. I will try to find Gali. If the Rahi are near the village, she is the only one who could defeat them. She's on a great quest and may be very far away. The only way to get to Gakoro from here is by the sea, so you must take my boat, and I will search for the Toa on foot. She's just gonna hike across the across the island. Good luck, and tell Nakoma I am safe. Oh no! So you got up there the cow, the Kanoe cow, which is the mask of water breathing. That's Gali's mask. All right, okay. This game stumped me as a kid. It says Gakoro up there, in case you were wondering. I like their architecture. It's pretty. You got the water tribe. It's kind of like Avatar, you know. But anyway, we got to... No, this one wasn't the one. This one was difficult, but I mean, I just, you know, set rocks in it. Ah! Help! No! Anyway, that stone over there has got to be counterbalanced with these little stones. I love these little fat ones. They're so cute. I actually took some little rocks and drew some faces on them. They're about to scale with the actual Bionicle toys. Anyway. This always made me think of like a cabbage or something. Weird, nasty cabbage. I really like this, like the lily pad city. It's nice. And in the second game, Mananui Online game 2, it's even better. So this is funny because that's just like a Toa's body upside down. You could build that if you wanted to. Well, not exactly, because you can't put a part right there with heavy modification. It's a satisfying noise. Anyway. Who is that? Who is there? Hurry, my friend, you're our only hope. Maku sent me to rescue you. Maku escaped! We were so worried about her. We are trapped here underwater. The door is stuck and we can't open it. If the village pumps are repaired, the hut will rise to the surface and we can escape. The Rahi smashed them and pieces fell into the water. If you can find the missing piece and put it back in the pump machine, it will float us back up. I left a light stone in my hut. It might help you see underwater. Please hurry. Hurry, my friend, you are our only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are my only hope. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hurry back. I don't know how much longer we can survive in here, and the Rahi may return. I don't know, it seems kind of calm out here to me. Also, we can go underwater. Ah, yes. We need the backpack. Yes. Alright, while I'm up here, before we go underwater. Man. So I wondered, did this boat just get thrown into this, this cabbage house? I know it's seaweed or whatever. Here we go. I love the little jellyfish in the... this one's dead. Poor jellyfish. There's the fish on the... mounted on the board. Do you remember those... does anybody remember those animatronic fish on the board that would sing? My grandpa had one, and it was saying, "Don't worry, be happy." And Take me to the river. Drop me in the water. Anyway, here's the lightstone. And you can use that to... Oh, I got the lava surfboard after all. Thank you. I can see things. Yes. So I guess he was just carrying... I guess he was just carrying the lava surfboard around with him. Anyway, we'll come back when she tidies up. Splash. I love this music. It's very stereotypical underwater stuff, but I love all the fish swimming, and it's pretty, but it leaves enough to your imagination that, you know, you can kind of come up with your own thing. There they are, trapped. Hey, help! Yeah, you're doing good. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. So what we're supposed to do here is use the lightstone to look around. Look around. Put in the chat if you know what I'm referencing there. Probably only my brother will get that reference. It's from a Star Wars game. I remember in the novel there was why did it make the splash noise again? I didn't get out of the water. I remember in the novel there was this nice little passage about Golly just kind of floating around in the water. There it is. Shiny. Go back to the machine, do a little mechanical wizardry. Alright, let's see, what does it say? Machine part. I mean, you're not wrong, but it's just kind of a gear. Now, I'm wondering... these are not the gears that they use in the Toa torsos. These are those other gears, Technic gears, although they're at different scales than they should be. I mean, that's about the size it would be, I guess. And those pumps, those bellows, I wonder if those are the Mars mission bellows. No, not quite. Anyway. Chugga, 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 chugga. There's another machine we'll run into later that really stumped me as a kid. I remember playing this game. For free! It's interesting how she's got a joint in there. Oh, it's back. Yep. Oh no, exactly what I said might happen, happened! I love how that just works like a, what you call it? Aw, yeah. Oh, that's weird. Golly's got those pins on her legs instead of on her hips. Nice little anime battle here. I think the frame rate runs a little faster in the 2006 version. Just imagine having a tank tread for feet. Nice little moment of suspense. I know that's pretty cliche nowadays, but, you know, like, it's still kind of fun. That is not the mask that toy comes with. That is a different, that's the Ruru, I think? Rauru? No, that's Zelda. Different game. What is this person doing? Just a little, not knitting. I think in the second game it's revealed, you know, they're making like flax and sailcloth and fishing nets and stuff. But this kind of looks like they're making a, like an ancient, like throw the shuttle through it. What's it called? A loom. It looks like a loom, yeah. Thank you, you saved our village friend. Thank you, you saved our village friend. I once caught a fish this big. Hail, hero, thanks for saving us. Now we can go back to our fishing. I'm sorry, these are all supposed to be girl voices. That almost looks 3D, that movement there. Ah, now you got it all cleaned up. There's another one of these tall ones. It's interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for those. But here's some more of those stones. And this interesting little waterfall. I wonder if that's supposed to be like a time clock or something. Thank you for rescuing us. You are bold and true to your word. All the Tohunga of Gakoro owe you their gratitude. For once I am glad that Maku had snuck away from the village so that she could find you. Your eyes are filled with questions about the mysteries of Motunui, my friend. Giving you some of the answers you seek is small payment for your deeds, but I offer you what knowledge I can. Our astrologer has seen great changes in the skies and has read the dark future of Motunui. The Toa have come and begun their mighty quest to save us from the Makuta. And yet here in the midst of this upheaval are you, a brave wanderer in this dangerous land. How may I help you? I don't have one to ask who you are. Did she already say? Yeah. That's Nokama, the Turaga of the village. Who am I? I think someone has plans for you that are greater than your stature would suggest. Someone like the author, the narrator. Perhaps you are to be a hero like the Toa. I do not know. The Tohunga have forgotten their civilization. Even the Turaga do not have record of all that has come before. That's a nice... So I don't know if that's intentional at this point or not, but that's a nice reference because they are from a different island and came to this island after the great cataclysm. But I also like this atmosphere that they're kind of, like this is, sort of an era of decline with the rise of Makuta. We've kind of gone downhill, Even the Turaga do not have record of all that comes before. But the ocean remembers. Like history, the water holds many secrets in its forbidden depths, and we'll come back to that theme later. It surrounds Motunui and covers it. It watches the island as it sleeps and remembers. It caught the Toa gently when they descended and delivered them to us. It's kind of a nice poetic sort of Mother Ocean vibe. You are an absolute in these uncertain times. Oh, I'm absolute. Your past is forgotten, and your future is an empty book. You must find your own destiny, my brave adventurer. It's kind of an interesting bit of philosophy here. We kind of see that the people of the water, because water, I like how they kind of tie each of the village's philosophies, and we see this just as much in the second game, Motunui 2. That the water, or that their philosophies, their ways of life are connected to the elements that they both represent and live in. And this philosophy here is that like water is just like always there, because of the water cycle going from the ground to the sky and back down. It's just always kind of there. And here she is saying that we, because we don't know where we're going and we don't know where we've been, we are now, we just are right now, so basically that gives us the freedom to do whatever we want to do or whatever the scripted game allows us to do. Who is Gali? Gali, the Toa of Water, the great hero of Gakoro, is one of the cooler members of the Toa. Unlike other Boys Toys series where the girl is just the girl, Gali is actually a really cool character. Like the other Toa, she descended from the heavens to save us from the Makuta. She is wise and strong and quick. Gali is the protector of the sea and of the lakes and rivers that feed it. Her mask of power lets her breathe freely beneath the waves. What of Maku? Maku often sneaks out of the village to spy on Huki, the holy champion. She tells me she is just practicing her boating, but I know the truth. And it is far too dangerous for her to be outside the village now. For her own safety, I will forbid her to go, even though her wandering saved us this time. If in your travels to Pokoro you should meet Huki, tell him she is safe. He may have heard of the attack and will be worried. So already we've got a little romance set up here between the girl and the boy, and a little crush going on. Thank you. Goodbye. Good luck, brave adventurer. So here's the this is the Tarakawa that attacked the village. Don't be afraid. He is no longer under the dark influence of Makuta. And just pets it like a dog. There. Shh, he is resting. He has been through a great ordeal. In time, he may be tamed. Shh, he is resting. Shh, he is resting. I just think that's really cool that they acknowledge that they can be rehabilitated. Like, it's the infected masks that put them under the sway of the Makuta. The Rahi aren't naturally evil. They're just animals, you know? Alright, let's see. There's Maku. This sign up here, it says, to Maku with lots of love. Oh, they're beyond the crush phase. Huki. Well, I think that says Huki. Yeah, it says Huki. I like how there's just like this, the product image just stamped onto a leaf, and then the rest of it is like written on with a paintbrush or something. I like these little weird little fish tanks, or this water cooler here. Why does no Kama make me stay in this village at a time like this? Huki might need me. Now, of course, later on, I've heard that there's trouble in Pokoro. Oh no, poor Huki! It's kind of retconned out any sort of romance, and that's because I believe what they meant was that there's no, like, they don't reproduce like humans, so there's none of that involved. But I believe that, like, friendship and unity is a incredibly important tenet to Bionicle. So if they have the ability to the world of Bionicle, especially the Toa, Turaga, and Matoran, and I believe if they have the ability to process and generate those sorts of emotions, then a stronger attachment like love would certainly be capable, but it would be like a more platonic love, because obviously they don't make baby Matoran. Anyway, stay in the village at a time like this. Who might need me anyway? So my reaction to that is yes, but, you know, sort of. Well, I'm sorry I phrased it like that. Anyway, so this is interesting here. On this leaf right here, we see Madanui. It says it's the center here, and then there's two objects in orbit around it. Actually, there's a third ring also. And later on, we find out that, so this is suggesting that Madanui is also the planet, but it's actually, you know, later on in the series, that's just the island. They're on Aqua Magna, and there's Barra Magna and Boda Magna, two other planets. So here we have some heliocentrism, is the sun is the middle. But the opposite is, I cannot remember at the moment. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm just now checking the chat. Kapura Takua is in fact wanted for several multiversal war crimes. He is the candidate of the Geneva Convention. Anyway, so yeah, here I believe that the Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know how far back that goes, the three planets orbiting each other goes, but that's pretty interesting that the astrologer here, who is named Nixie in the next game, has a diagram of that. Have you any other questions for me? The heavens are in turmoil, and I must chart their fluctuations. Who are you? I am the astrologer. I watch the stars and the water. What are you doing? Astrologizing. I am charting changes in the skies. Many important things are happening around Mount Nui, and many more will happen. I use the telescope on the cliff. It tells what will happen, and when. How do I use the telescope? It's very simple. Click on it. Around the base of the telescope are pictures. They are constellations, patterns, stars in the night sky, and markings that show the prophecies of legends. Each picture has a red star in it. When the red star reaches a certain place in the heavens, it means something important will happen here on Matanui, one of the prophecies. When you look through the telescope, you will see many stars, and one of them is the red star. Look at the constellations near the red star. They will look like the ones in the pictures. When the red star is exactly where it is shown in one of the pictures, then a prophecy may come true, i.e., the next chapter is open. If something changes in the sky, it is my job to change the pictures so that I can better see the future. Even though we, Tahonga, remember the prophecies, nothing is certain. The future can change. Allowing for patches and retcons as they go along. If you can read the numbers in the telescope, it is even easier to tell the future. Goodbye. Goodbye. Little telescope. I wonder where that goes. I wonder if there's a window right here that we're not seeing. She's just spying on the shipwright over here. Or the people putting the building back here. Well, maybe she's looking at the big mask up here. I love the Matora Network sign. So actually, that's kind of interesting. The astrologer says things may change, whereas Nokama seems to think that things... well, she does definitely say that things change, but things also stay the same. And when we get to Kowahi, we'll definitely be seeing some interesting philosophy. Where would you like to go? Sail to Powahi, stay here. Sail to Tawahi. Tawahi is the area surrounding Takoro. We've already been there. I've just done everything here. Sail to Powahi. This will be the last chapter that we do for tonight. Oh, there's some larger versions of those might just be natural formations, but those tall ones that we saw in the thing, that might be what they're based on right there. Interesting. Hey, come on over here. All right, I'm gonna read this stone to you. My friend went to Powahi, and all I got was this lousy rock. I love how there's a little Gali and Tarakawa action figure here. And just a giant version of somebody. You know, because the masks cover their faces, this is basically a giant skull. The Pokorians are more goth than I remember or thought about. Eh, what's that? Sorry, don't get too many travelers around Powahi these days. What can I do for you? Need a boat, information, or a souvenir, maybe? What is Powahi? Powahi is, well, there's not much to it, really. Mostly sand. Lots of sand. But there are the canyons, which are real pretty to look at, if the sun or the Rahi don't get you first, and the path of prophecies, which the ancient carvers made. Pokoro's a decent place, too. Don't miss the games. Most everyone around Matanui turns up to see a Coley match when they're on. Haven't been too many visitors lately, though. Goodbye. Stay out of the sun! I'm sorry, I don't know why I made that voice. No! Let me go! He's trying to sell me things! Let's see. Behold the desert. Pokoro is that way, and the quarry is this way. We'll go here first, just to check it out. Pretty rocks. Maybe we're gonna find. So here is kind of a weird thing where, like, they have their eyes, but the mask is shoved up above their face, so technically the eyes should be down in here. The mouth is sticking out down here. Kind of weird that way, but, you know, whatever works, I guess. It'd be like if your face got shoved up above onto your nose, and then, like, your chin was a skeleton. Anyway, that'll be important later. I do like how big the desert is. Just this path that just keeps going and going. Look, signs of life. Intelligent? We'll find out. If you're looking for Pokoro, traveler, take the right road. Am I right, or is it your right? Another Hafu original. Classic. Hot enough for you? Can you guess what it is yet? I think it's already finished. Wow, sometimes I impress myself. Is that a Han Solo reference? I like this little crossroads here. Pokoro Onu Wahi is that way. Pokoro is this way. Yeah, so, like, this is just a row of skulls, right? Or, I don't know, maybe this is their true face. I suppose this is true face because the mask is not their face. Even though it acts like a face for them, it is ultimately a mask. So I guess this is just a bare naked face. So is that kind of vulgar? Is that like a... Also, the rock that's stuck up between the things is kind of cool. Just wedged up here between these two giant pillars. They got a giant wall around their thing, like Attack on Titan or something. Oh no, he's in blackface! Hello, stranger. Are you looking for a good Coley ball? Let me recommend the Comet, our most popular model. Our Comet balls are the best in Motunui. Everyone wants one. Don't be the only Tohunga in Pokoro without a Comet. What is a Coley ball? Why, Coley balls are for playing Coley, of course. You'd want a Comet. Our most popular model. Trading to hussy pecking birds, or the equivalent. Hussy? Hussy? How are you supposed to pronounce that? Where do you get your Coley balls? Well, now, that's privileged information, my friend. Let's just say I have a secret source. How do I buy a Coley ball? We trade here, like in the rest of the bazaar. If you've got something worth trading, I'll give you a Coley ball for it. Goodbye. Come back anytime. I like this little goat here. And that's the bird he was talking about. Want a maha? Going cheap. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Want a maha? Okay then. I'll trade 2 hussy for your maha. I don't know how I'm supposed to. The maha market is bottomed out. I think these are maha and these are hussy. Yeah. So now we see that that's like the symbol for that. Let's see. He's got mostly the eggs, the egg-shaped ones. Yeah. And a Coley ball, which actually is the standard Lego boulder that comes with Pohatu. He's tall. Hail, adventurer. You have come at an unhappy time in Pokoro, I fear. I am about to announce to my people the news that the next Coley match will have to be cancelled. I do not think even great Pohatu could play Coley at a time like this. I am distracted by many of Pokoro's problems, adventurer, and I can give you little of my time. Do you think you can give me some clues about how to cure this illness? He just assumes... You look like a protagonist. Maybe you have an idea. Who are you? I am Onawa, Turaga of the village of Pokoro. The Tuhunga here are master carvers, and their work is the envy of all Matanui. But today I am not carving works of art. Instead, I am fashioning beds. I am struggling to bring comfort to the sick people of this village, but it is a fleeting solace. We know nothing of this illness, how long it might last, or where it comes from. Left unattended, I fear the madness. The madness? Why are you canceling the Coley match? A dark plague has corrupted my people in my village. Though many still stay at their work and visit the bazaar and play Coley, they have blinded themselves to the truth and put strength and duty before fear. So they're stubborn like rocks. Their philosophy's a little on the nose. Huki, our greatest Coley champion, was one of the first to fall ill. He has become weakened and cannot move from his bed. Maybe because he's sleeping on a bed made out of stone? I fear that soon we will see him in the beginnings of the madness, the same diabolical force that grips the wild Rahi when their masks become infected. That's actually really horrifying if you think about it, because the infected masks create, you put you under the sway of the Makuta. Who is Pohatu? Pohatu is the tower of the Pokoro Tuhunga. His great strength can fell mountains, and the Konohi Kakama gives him speed greater than any creature on Matanui. He fast for a rock. The irony is that Pohatu's strength and speed cannot help us. You can't outrun the plague. An enemy that can neither be seen nor felt plagues us. And this is getting back into the sort of spiritual side of... because in Takoro, we kind of just see them, just kind of living, but we see Gakoro actually under attack from the physical, the beasts, and now Pokoro is affected by a plague, but also sort of the corruption of, or the downcasting of the spirit. Depression! Anyway. Is being attacked. Their morale is being attacked. Vakama of Takoro has sent some of his guard to assist us, but they will not enter the village for fear of falling prey to his disease. This disease. Instead, they are combing the hills in search of Pohatu, who is on a grave quest for the Mask of Power. To learn more, read the comics. But without knowing even where his illness comes from, there is little anyone can do, even the great Pohatu. Goodbye. I wish you the speed of Pohatu, adventurer. You got X's on doors. People are having to quarantine. They're already wearing masks. Are you here for a Coley match? I sure could use some more teammates to play with. All the others have gone home. They're not feeling well. Not even Hookie can play anymore. And I just got a new comet. Traded to Hoosie for it. Hup, hup, hup. What is Coley? What is Coley? You must not be from around here or haven't played the previous game in which you actually get to play Coley, that as it is presented a four-way soccer game here. Greatest sport in Montanui. It's incredibly simple, but takes much more skill than the sports they play in other villages. Yeah, because riding birds and throwing things at each other at the same time it isn't hard. Coley is played in a Coley field. You're standing in the biggest one in Powahi, but they don't have to be any fancy as this. All you need is 4 goals set up on each side of a square. There are 4 players. Each of the goals has a Tahunga to guard it. To win, you have to kick Coley balls like this one into any of the other 3 goals, while at the same time stopping other players from getting their balls into your goal. That's it. It's soccer. What is a comet? A comet is the best kind of Coley ball you can get. Everyone is getting one of these now. They're perfectly balanced, so it's very hard to miss. And when you kick them, they fly as fast as a comet. They only started trading them recently at the bazaar. I don't know how they got at them, but whoever carded them is truly a master. Mass produced by machines. Who is Hookie? Who is Hookie? Why, only the greatest Coley player ever. At least he was. He fell ill a little while ago, and I haven't seen him around much. He lives just on the other side of the Coley field. Goodbye. Hup, hup. Hup, hup, hup. Cough. Watch this arc. Just whoop, bump, bump, bump. How good... It's not really that good of a ball, is it? If it just, like, comes back to you all the time. Or maybe that's what they want. I love Coley, but everyone is homesick. MVP. Stay away from me! Boy, this hit's different in 2023. I just want to be left alone. Who are you? I am Hookie. Why are you sick? I don't know. I've been here for how many days? I'm not sure anymore. I used to know. You must go. I feel strange. No one must come here, especially Maku. Do not tell her I'm a little warrior. She must not see me like this. She must not. I just want to be left alone. All right, goodbye. Get out! Whoa, I went too far out. So what you do is you're supposed to... Well, actually, no, you go back here. Oh no, he's gone. He got sick. Evil ball! Oh great, I just put the contaminated, infected Coley ball in my backpack. Now everything else is gonna get nasty. Hail, adventurer. Here, have a nasty ball. What? But this is just a Coley ball. But not just any Coley ball. This is the special kind that is being traded at the bazaar, and which has become very popular. Thank you, adventurer, for showing this to me. You are as noble as your reputation, and resourceful. This opens my eyes to many things. If these balls are the cause of the illness, then we must take them away from the village and throw them in the sea. But they are very popular in the Pokoro Tohunga Matoran. Value Coley above many things. I cannot take these away from my people unless I have proof that they are the cause. However, this is a vital clue. I know that a merchant in the bazaar sells these balls. You must find out from him where these balls come from. But take care.
If he is somehow involved in this plot, then he will not want you to find out. The evil that visited Gakoro across the ways has come, it seems, to our ocean of sand. I fear the shadow of the Makuta has been cast across Pokoro. I know that the source of this evil must be found, or all may be lost. If Akama's guard can find the Toa, I will suggest to Pohatu that he seek you out, and together I hope you can do what is necessary. Would that the sick did not need me, I would come to assist you on your quest. Perhaps there is some information that I can provide you with that will help you unravel this great mystery. I've already asked all those questions. Goodbye. I wish you the speed of Pohatu, adventurer. So now you're supposed to interrogate this guy, but we already talked to him. Hello, stranger. Are you looking for a good gully ball? Let me recommend the Comet, our most popular model. Did I... Oh, okay, so he kept that. Where do you get your gully balls? Well, now that's privileged information, my friend. Let's say I have a secret source. Goodbye. Come back anytime. Alright, what does this say? Comets! Make me an offer! Yeah, you're supposed to grab that. Question mark? It's questioning the question mark. Let's see if he says anything about this. Nope. No, he's not going to take that one. Alright. Goodbye. Fortunately, I already know what I'm supposed to do with it. Shove it in a skull mouth. Just walking across the sand, across the desert. Well, I've been through the desert on a rahi with no name. Felt good to get out of the rain. My brain. Alright, so each of them have a little symbol that represents their village, and this one is obviously a bush of fire. So we'll go to Tahu, plug it in, and each time you play the game it'll give you a different one. Sometimes. I'm surprised it didn't give us Pohatu's. Anyway. Secret tunnel! Secret tunnel! Through the mountain! Oh. Evil balls! And that would be the source of the corruption. That's interesting. That's the same sort of dais or plaque that Vakama has in his room, but this one's infected. So it must be an actual Kanohi. And here he comes. Now entering the Toa of Bleh. Adventurer, the scorpion has blinded me for the moment. It will be some time before my sight returns. Tell me where to kick the ball, and together we can destroy the Nuijaga's nest. He just walks in the room and immediately gets pegged. Now this always was kind of hard because I thought that you could only kick it at the slow speed. But if you press and hold, you can charge him up. And you can move too. Just gotta kill all the little cockroaches before they hatch. So here's a question. Is it an infected Nuijaga, or is it just protecting its young? Who's the real monster here? Yeah. And yeah, this is... I always thought that you had to break these ones on the side too, but no. This is a fun little mini game the first 100 times you play it, but this is probably the 1000th time I've played this game. Yeah, figure it out. This mini game used to take me like an hour to do because number one, my parents' old computer that I played it on when I was a kid. I was like 4 in 2001, you know. I'd play this game my dad would watch or something, you know.
and help me out with some of this stuff, especially the machine in the Lightstone Cave, which we'll get to later. But this part, yeah, because our computer was slow and I thought that I had to do it the hard way the whole time, it took me forever. So like I'd breeze through the game, but then the this part would be like an hour. Oh, come on! Alright, get out of the way. There we go. Gotta get that cool sports guy vibe going on. Yeah! Oh no! Let's get out of here. He got them cool Michael Jordan sneakers on. He can go fast. Gotta go fast. Sonic. Excellent, my friend. We make a good team. My sight has returned to me. This was an evil plan indeed. Onawa was right to call upon me. Should it be pronounced one-wa? Probably not. That was an infected mass set beside the Koli balls. But who left it there and placed the balls beside it? Though poor Koro will be safe now, we have uncovered an even greater mystery. I fear the Makuto's influence may extend beyond the Rahi now. I will take this news back to Pokoro and help them carry the infected Koli balls into the sea. My mask of power will let me get to the village quickly enough, I think, to save even Huki. You are a cunning ally, my friend, and brave. I hope that we shall meet again someday. So, where were we during that cutscene? Were we riding on his back? On his wide hips? Or were we just running super fast too? You can go up to any of these if you wanted to. It won't do you any good. But if you go back to this one, plop. He goes off into the sunset. Alright, I'm just going to go back to the village and see how it's recovered, and then that's going to be it for tonight. I'll pick up in another live stream some other day. Gone fishing! Talk to me. Wanamaha, going cheap. Alright, so the market's moved over here now. Take it or leave it. People have moved around a bit. I guess more people are out and about. Hey, I did the thing. I did the protagonist thing.
Hail, hero. Pohatu has already been here and gone. The infected Koli balls have been taken to the sea, and they will bother us no more. The Tohunga of my village are recovering from their illness. I am not certain what became of the merchant who sold those Koli balls, however. He disappeared before Pohatu returned. Pohatu has told me of all your adventures. We, like the Gakoro Tohunga, Matoran, will long honor your deeds. We're getting famous, guys. We're getting famous now. Nokama's right when she said you would be witness to many important things transpiring throughout our land. She asked me to watch over you and tell her if I also feel this. I know that you are one of her astrologer has spoken of. We're the chosen one. Take this carving tool, which is the proud symbol of our greatest carvers. Show it to Nokama, and she will give you the Book of Chronicles. Nice. I trust your travels are going well? Yep, goodbye. I wish you the speed of Pohatu, adventurer. That's cool. We got Pokoro Chisel is a sign of honor. Looks like the Koli game is fully underway. They got a lot of balls on the court. Looks like just practice. Not an entirely serious game, but these guys are watching. Foul, ref! I guess it is a game.
Who ate all the pies? Who ate all the pies? Apparently they eat pies. Interesting. So maybe that's what they farm in Tawahi is pies, and then they bring that here so that they can throw them at the ref. Who do you think will win? I don't know. Who do you think will win? It is a good day for Coley. Who ate all the pies? He's getting back in shape. Gotta do his little stretches. I have heard that you have done... Bleh! I have heard all that you have done for our village, adventurer, but I especially owe you thanks. Hup, hup, hup! Hup, hup, hup! Alright. I think that's where we'll leave it off for tonight. Support. Ah! Whoa. Interesting. Thanks. Oh, cool. Whoa. Anyway, what else do we got? Settings. 18 FPS original, 30 FPS faster. Wonder what that does. Ooh, smoother. Okay. Anyway, well, thank you all for joining us tonight. Happy Bionicle Day to everybody. Remember, unity, duty, destiny, all that good stuff. For victory, for power, for glory, and revenge. No, whatever. Anyway, that's where we'll go ahead and end for tonight. Hope you all have a nice night, and I'll continue the game some other day. Goodbye.